Okay, I ranked no. I don't say Kupama joining Chelsea no. Not Chelsea more Champions League. But Obe joining Chelsea no. You know the exposure at Chelsea Diabano. Oh, there be am taka so ho. Your issues be all my exceptional. Kupama no. Ono bo no ni bo. City na not team no. I mean players no untina no nya bi more. He's a fine player.
You see, me no, I am more interested in facts.
Okay.
A dream maybe say you tell the truth. O man go for what the situation is. Say about fans debate any trolls ne commentaries about a certain fact there. And when you leave it for it to go, at least you know say as a journalist why you would you man. Look, Chelsea be only chief for 2 seasons in here. 2 seasons. Last season Chelsea didn't achieve. And now Abraham Tennessee Derby, or Giddy said it was the wrong time for him to move. And was signed 4-year contract extension with Crystal Palace. And a Thursday, yeah, rich. And next, that was Saturday, maybe. And a Thursday, yeah. And according to David Austin, Chelsea gained the final permission to speak to Olise for this time around transfer way. Omuni Olise di nkomo. After omuni Crystal Palace so start some di nkomo no. Which no kwenu say Chelsea say sika na e want transfer ni no. E do so do. Chelsea ankasa sisia no. And said they need a very very strong financial position sisia. And Thomas Omoshe, Sika Ometia for the transfer of Olise from Crystal Palace to Chelsea. Now, Omudi are benching demands in terms of the wages. In Pempeno, Chelsea is trying to strategize on wage bill. No, and you must say, it's as simple as that. Omudi says, Sakano, and too much sombabo, and Tom Besomabo, and you have some phobia. Now, Rich, what do you know to enjoy? Stewards must say, oh, you listen, pa. In terms of left-footed attackers, you're Kopama, you're not the Madwiki, you're Gabriel Angelo. She say, you're the Estavao William Eseba. Only left-footed attackers, said here, Michael Olise, and she Argentina. We will risk our books for Olise. When we have these players, they can also play the role of Olise Bono. And Olise decided to go to Bayern. No, it is simply because Chelsea can't work at the anymore. And you're too much. And Chimuna, no, as simple for me, actually. The guy would have loved to stay in London still. And come back or whatever so about Chelsea, got to push here and come back to solve. But Bayern say, meet the financial demands. Chelsea say we are not in a position say meet, especially when and yet so critical. See here Olise we team and yet so critical. Say about left-footed players there. Amari has to say we na left-footed attackers. Your Kopama, your players are making me a boss our position, no, including even players who do mobile. Now, what I am not comfortable, and we also say a football fans debate. And they say, oh, because of Chelsea, the Estavao will learn about. Then the comparison say, oh, no, any Olise. Look, Olise have more experience because we about Premier League, you know, any idea. But the Sikasemne woman, you will be able to meet Estavao William, name Sika or Beje, and then the transfer fee. Then a bunch of Michael Olise, especially when Michael Olise, you know, or what suitors within Europe. We have big clubs almost so outside market. You know, it is as simple as that. Now, and I pay Austin Chelsea got top player. Oh no, Omari Kellyman, young, I think will be 18 years. Chelsea turned free Villa. Chelsea, show more transfer so good. I mean, that's a papa only. I'm going to your Facebook. Every Chelsea close to agree a deal with Aston Villa. Omari Kellyman, 18 years, small boy. I think last season about only 4 games. Emma Villa. is Chelsea. They say
the problem with them, no.
Level no.
Play about just 4 matches.
Yeah.
Also, go find about Chelsea.
Very long-term project. That place is almost a project. So then, Fiifi Kano, and I pay a message say Germany for no air report. They say Chelsea, as you interested in Maximilian Bear, and also a striker, Emma Hoffenheim. And the numbers in are very good, but on also not a big name or yet impact player. What my doing say Chelsea didn't buy no or be compete with striker be say Erling Haaland mo na or more be compete for the Premier League. Chelsea some na cost na no dey after the Euros e be to was here na ya ba be come here sure say ni top for boom and say Chelsea team no last season any the way Pochettino ebi omu wie season na can go for you say with a little bit of quality any experience and Chelsea bit more formidable but Rich I say with Enzo Maresca appointment any baby at Chelsea do transfer and probably there's a more deeper problem in Chelsea I hear about the NTSNT and might you doubt it the way they are doing their transfers. Look, we should understand. Yeah, what Bontino, yeah, Chelsea ever successful more than the owners in Ankasamu. And sometimes they be a very situation. Me and Chile will be our own Tiasie. Sir Victor Osimhen, why would they go and buy Maximiano Meyer if they can afford and they think it's a bit more about project? Probably we need to understand them better. Say and no maybe a cocoa so books and all those things. And if even possibly, and look how much why Pochettino will say, look, mutually let me go. Because semi Piabontia, the expectations on me, and we were inside what I know about me woman. I mean a baby and go for fire me. But the problem is that the team is not positioned to bring in the best players now. Makes me any Liverpool, any Man City, any Arsenal are competing. Look, even for Arsenal, and Rebecca, so they will be buying young players. Look at the young players they are bringing in with a lot of experience. Gabriel Jesus, Jisenko. At a point in time, they have to bring in over 30 years Leandro Trossard. No money is just Shahuana or Mukomanika with this. But at a point in time, Arsenal and the Neverity which projects there. Sometimes you need to be more closer to understand and maybe a concern. Say a buff you discuss a concept now. I think say we will make some small.
De Bruyne and then Thibaut Courtois have those issues. It's in the Belgian team. Tedesco has granted interviews in Belgium where he was asked how did he manage the first thing between Thibaut Courtois and then Kevin De Bruyne. He spoke about it that he has spoken to the gentlemen. They're all captains of the team: Lukaku, De Bruyne, and then of course Thibaut Courtois. They have to quash out those things. Wasn't Thibaut Courtois in the final for the Champions League? He was in there.
Oh yes, but I mean that was just a game.
Yes, he was in there for the Champions League.
About a year.
It does not matter. At the end of the day, there's a big issue because of the captaincy.
He was inactive.
Yeah, because of the captaincy. That Thibaut Courtois seemed to be our third or fourth choice in the team. And all of those issues.
My question is that how does the differences of these two affect the players and their performance at the competition?
It can affect them.
Well,
it can.
Even if it's a side issue, it will affect to an extent psychologically.
How does it?
No, but you see, in a football team, I mean, people have friends. People have people that they relate to.
Okay.
You know, we talk about Suarez and Messi. Yeah. And when we were at Barca and what happened to Messi in Barca also affected Suarez to some extent. To the extent that he has also moved to join Messi in US now. So there are friends and there are some cliques and groupings within a football team. And anything that affects one player can also affect other members of that clique or other group. And for me, if you look at the Champions League final, which you just mentioned earlier, and then look at when the Champions League was played and when Belgium also released their squad, I mean, there was enough time to have invited him because in the final of the Champions League he was good. Yeah. I mean, everybody knows that Courtois, apart from maybe when he's injured or when it's one or two issues affect him, he's arguably one of the best goalkeepers that we have in the world. So if a goalkeeper goes through a period of injury for a very long time, which we will admit, and after some time he comes back fit enough to really play the Champions League final for Real Madrid, for a team that had Lunin in goal for most part of the season, but the last minute when it matters more in the final, Ancelotti decided to use him at the expense of Lunin. It tells you that he could have kept the post for the Belgians.
Was the squad not named before the Champions League?
What was it named before? I think it was named after.
It was named.
Was it named before or after?
Yeah, we will just have to check that. Just a quick one here. Yeah. Okay. All right, but let's continue with the story. So we'll get back to this one. But let's check on that one, please.
You remember we were talking about this in Belgium squad.
Yeah.
Look at the attack. So Belgium did not have Romeo Lavia for Chelsea because he's injured, long-term injury. So in the middle of the park, they play Mangala and Andre Onana. Andre Onana for Everton, one of the best DMs.
Yeah, but for the Belgian national team, those two guys, for me, they look too ordinary.
No problem. There are no problem. But I mean, it's a teamwork. Okay. Then the attack is Jeremy Doku, Kevin De Bruyne, and then.
So 3 days before the final.
And at the time, Thibaut Courtois was fit. Even at the time, everybody knew that Thibaut Courtois was going to be in post for the final, which was around somewhere in June or so.
The Champions League final was on the 1st of June.
Yes, even
on the 1st of June. Belgium released their squad on
28th May. Even in the semi-final.
Okay, so before the Champions League.
3 days at the time he was fit. And
but
before that,
but they still have a grace period where they can make changes before the competition
in the semi-final, Thibaut Courtois was on the bench.
Yeah.
Semi-final, Courtois was on the bench.
And if you wanted to know the health situation of,
you could have contacted the Becca team at Real Madrid.
For you to consider him to be in the squad.
Courtois has issues with the coach. With all of these captains and all, but even those are side issues. They are on the field of play. Doku, Manchester City, Kevin De Bruyne, Leandro Trossard. He's not a bad player. Led by Romelu Lukaku on the bench. Forget all the issues of Miti Batshuayi. He's a good player for Dortmund, for Belgium. And then Loic Openda, who is very, very good in the German Bundesliga. All of these are players. My problem is that when I was watching Kevin De Bruyne, after a while, he's visibly angry at his own teammates.
I observed that.
Yeah, shouting at them, and I'm like, how will you do this?
He's a superstar.
Superstar.
He's won the Champions League. He's the superstar of the team.
Okay, he should be there.
Gunning for Ballon
d'Or. Belgium, unfortunately, I'm not sure this generation or even if their generation is even going up. Do they have
that golden generation?
It's gone.
It's gone. Nothing. Yeah.
They couldn't win anything. They couldn't win anything. So for me, apart from the issues that Fifi just mentioned. I think that they've not been able to get very good managers good managers who handle their national team. With all the money that they have, they go for some of these average managers and it's not helping their cause. No.
But how average is Martinez? He's not
Roberto Martinez.
I mean, he doesn't reach my man crowd.
Roberto Martinez. You go for those guys. I mean, those guys are no coaches.
So Group A, we have Germany on top. I mean, they have qualified to the next stage of the competition with 6 points. Switzerland after 2 matches, 4 points. Scotland, just a point. Hungary, no point. In the Group B, we have Spain on top with 6 points. Italy on the second position with 3 points. Albania, 1 point. Croatia, 1 point. Wow. Now Group C, England, 4 points.
We're talking about them.
4 points after 2 matches.
Every time they're going for competition, they are favorites. They are favorites.
This one. Hey. Denmark, 2 points after 2 matches. Slovenia, 2 points. Serbia, 1 point. You know, in the last game, in the last 2 matches that England has played at this competition, Trent Alexander-Arnold has been deployed in the midfield area.
They say you should stop that experiment.
Roy Keane says it is not working. So Gary Southgate, you have to stop.
And I'll play you that voice. But Gary Southgate says something that surprises me, that they have not been able to fill the